Hi, sexy fast babes. So if you have the high octane triangle top and you went ahead and bought some additional spaghetti colors, I'm going to show you how to change out the spaghetti. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you have your two triangles, basically you already have more than likely spaghetti string in here that I probably already provided for you. What you want to do is probably just cut the end of the spaghetti or undo the knots that were already done, and that way you can pull through the spaghetti and you can go ahead and break it apart here. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you keep kind of like your sides. I know they're the same, but I always like to make sure I keep my right and my left on what it was laying before. Usually, which this is mine, so I don't have my tag in it, but usually you'll have a tag in one of them on the corners. I keep that tag for my right side. So I know if I have the tag on the corner right here, it's going to be on this side, and that's how I usually lay them out. In your bag that I provide the spaghetti in, you should have one of these sexy fast connector pieces for the bottom, as well as an additional spaghetti string. This is going to be for your neck string, okay? So it's in one long one because the way I have my top styled is for extra support around the neck. So these do double up. That's why they're extra long, and it's only one piece, not two pieces for the two sides. So let's go get started. I start with the bottom half first. That way it's a little bit easier to work with. Yes, it's double string, so it will be tough. You'll be get through, but it will be tough to get the strings through at the bottom. But I do it that way. That way the triangles are not slipping around on you. You're gonna want to take your weaving tool. You should have a weaving tool that came with your order, okay? Only when you order additional spaghetti, you will get a weaving tool. So this is the side you will want to loop the spaghetti through. I'm gonna show you on my seat here. Because the best way to probably show you guys. So I have to kind of lay this out so I know what is what. So I know what side is going to go on what side, right? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this. I take the spaghetti and I lay it really flat and I kind of run it through my fingers to try to keep the spaghetti from twisting. If it twists a little bit, that's fine, but at least it's not super twisted up. That way it lays flat with everything. You want to go ahead and then take your ends, okay? And you can do one at a time if you want, but you'll take your little spot as the little loop right here, and you're going to want to go ahead and get the first string in. And then what I do, so you'll want it through the little loop right here, but what I do is I actually kind of pull it down and tighten it down around right here. And then I take the second one and I fish it through as well. I try to do two with one, but if you need to do it individually at a time, you can do it that way too. This, for me, is just faster, and it's how I kind of do it. So you'll have both of them through the weaving tool, okay? So now that I have both pieces through the weaving tool, okay, then you're going to want to, and this is going to twist a little bit. That's okay. That's not a big deal. You're going to make sure, like, however you're laying it down, okay, so obviously this is facing you right now, but you'll have it like this. You'll want to go ahead and start from the inside out. So this is going to be your inside triangle. You go ahead and push it all the way through. It will get tight, okay? Push it all the way through. Take that one end piece, and then you'll want to move the fabric over it and pull at the same time. It will be a little tight, so you have to kind of wiggle it through, okay? And once you kind of get through, there you go. Once you get through, then you have that started. So now you have that started for the one side here. You want to kind of play with it just a little bit. I like to pull really tight to straighten them out. So you can like kind of pull on it really tight a few times, and then we'll straighten it through. If you have one that's like kind of being funny, which is this one, because I can feel when I pull on it, that's the one it's pulling on. I kind of just keep it really, really tight, and then I'll scoot it back and forth to kind of get it to lay flat. To some people, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, if you're kind of a perfectionist like me, you can do that back and forth until you kind of get it to where it's laying a bit flatter for you. Okay, now that we have the one through, right? So we have the one side ready to go, okay? And then when I'll get the other side going. So again, you want to take them, I like to take the strings, make them like lay flat. So I kind of run them through my hands like this and kind of let them play a little bit to lay flat. They will twist a little bit. That's just spaghetti. That's kind of part of the deal a little bit. You want to go ahead and take your end strings again, and you want to go ahead and put them through the little eyelet hole in your weaving tool. And you can do one at a time if you want and string it through and pull the other one through too if you like. If that's easier for you, I like to go ahead and just put both of them in. I take this, I hold it down on the one corner, and I just kind of stretch it down on the other side here. And that way it gives me room to go ahead and put the other spaghetti through string. So now I have both through, right? They're both through the weaving tool. I leave a little bit of a tail right here. Again, it's going to get tight. That's just how it is. But when you do, you want to make sure you kind of like line it up. So when you go to do the string, you're not super twisted up. So I know like right here, that's going to be pretty much laying flat coming through. And then you want to go from the inside out, okay? Inside out. So you want to go through that way. I know I showed you at a different angle in the other video, but we'll push it through, scrunch it up on the end piece here. Then you want to go ahead and pull it through, kind of work the fabric around it. You'll have to kind of pull. Mine's extra tight because this is my very first suit that I did. So, okay, so once you get it through, okay, you can now just remove your weaving tool and you have your piece right here. Go ahead and string it on, pull it together. Now if it bunches up at all, just pull tightly, nice and taut with everything, and it will straighten out. So if you have like one string that's tighter than the other, just go ahead and just play with it. I like to kind of pull really, really tight and then move the fabric back and forth over it, and then it will usually flatten out pretty good. And that way you have at least the bottom half ready to go. Okay, so for the top half now of the high octane top, so we have our bottom piece in, okay, ready to go with that. Again, we're not doing anything with knots or anything like that yet. I always say that to the end, but you have your other loops on the top here, okay? So I do the one long string. This is how I design my suits, okay? For extra support of the neck and our chest with everything. I hate when swimsuits dig into your neck, so this is why I designed it this way. So here we are with, especially with all day wear. Take your one corner or your one end, okay? You want to start from the outside of the triangle top. Work your way in and through, okay? This will be one continuous string, basically. You're going to want to work that to, where you have like the end a little bit left, okay? So now you have a little bit left. Then go ahead and take that same corner on that same side with everything. I like to kind of run through my fingers, kind of make sure it stays somewhat flat. Put it through the eyelet again right here. As you can see, I'm putting it through, okay? Now it's through again, okay? We'll take that, turn it, have your other little piece right here on the other side. Grab your other corner, okay? Make sure it's straight. It's not all twisted up. Make sure you're straight, okay? Go ahead and put it through the other loop, pull it through. Okay, now you're done with the weaving tool, okay? So now it's gonna look like this. So the way I design my suits for these triangle tops is I leave slack right here because this is gonna go around your neck, okay? And when you have it around your neck, then it will tighten up this way. So I have it to where you'll tighten it this way and kind of play back and forth, and you'll fun it through this to adjust how taut you need this to be and where you want to have it placed on you. So I usually at this point put this on, and then I will take this and I'll just pull it up and I'll tighten up around the neck piece here and this at the same time. But just make sure, like when you go to do that, I always try to make sure to keep everything somewhat placed in the center. So before you jump on and do that, I always kind of make sure like, okay, I have about, these are pretty good and pretty leveled where they are. I know I need some slack in here because it is going to go over my neck. Put it on, it stays like this. This one goes on right here. I tie this up to where I like it. Then I tighten up and I tighten up. Obviously I'm holding one hand, tightening everything up to get your triangle top in. And that way you have extra support. Now that you have that all done and it's to where you like it, if you like tails on your bows, you can leave the strings a bit longer. I try to leave the strings on a little bit longer side of things because I like tails, but if not, then cut to your length of where you would like. And then I go ahead to finish off the suits. I make a little bow right here. I just make a little bow, finish off the suit. You can cut, any of the fray to make it look good. If you don't care about the knot, then no worries. Just note that every time you change these suits in and out to style your next color vibe, you're gonna need to undo the knots or just cut right at the knots. So again, if you are wearing this multiple times and you are changing out multiple times, your string will get short if you're cutting it. You will need to buy some additional spaghetti string color on the website, but that's if you're like really changing it in and out a lot. So there you go. Now you have it. And that's how you interchange the spaghetti colors. Again, I try to keep everything organized. So once you do change out a color, keep everything in your little baggies. The bags that you guys get, make sure you keep the bags. That way everything stays super organized. So that's the red to the high octane top or whatever that may be. So it's easy to change things in and out and you'll have spaghetti color strings all over the place. And everything is pre-cut to size. So this string and this string, everything is pre-cut. So you can kind of interchange some spaghetti that you get if you get multiples of tops and bottoms, but at some point though, you'll be cutting and adjusting if you don't stay organized. So anyways, and that's how you interchange on the high octane top. I hope this helped.